up, YouTube? So I'm up here on Coastline Drive right now. I'm just leaving this job site up here. And I'll be heading back to the valley in a minute. But I thought it'd be a great opportunity for me to show everyone who was wondering what the houses or the neighborhood up above Pacific Coast Highway off of Coastline Drive looks like. And for the most part, it's all gone. Every once in a while, you'll get a property that's still up and standing. But generally speaking, everything's gone. Which is truly a shame because this was such a beautiful place up here. It really was. It's mind-boggling how everything's gone, and then every once in a while you'll get one house that looks like it was untouched. It's mind-boggling. But if you look to the left, you'll see the ocean. This is why this neighborhood, or neighborhoods like these, are so spectacular. Because it's just such a beautiful view. So as you can see, not every house up here was burned to the ground, but a lot of them were. I would say somewhere close to 80%, maybe 90% of the homes. Out of 100 homes, 90 of them got burned probably. Something like that. I don't know how many homes are up here either. So this is Coastline right here. Because I just got done dropping off a bunch of gravel and stuff to this job site overlooking the ocean, literally right on the cliff. Beautiful. But I just got done, and now I'm going to be driving back to the valley. I have to go to the steel yard and pick up a bunch of rebar first before I go back and end my day. And it's 4 o'clock now, so I'm probably not going to be done until at least 6. I started at 4 in the morning. It'll be a long day. So some of these condos or apartments to the left didn't get damaged, but there's a couple of big ones right above them on the left-hand side. There's a couple of apartment complexes on the left that didn't get damaged, but right above them, there's a couple of them that get completely burned out. And it looks like they're gonna fall on top of the other apartment complexes or condominiums, whatever. I don't know if they're condos or apartments. I'm not sure. But I wouldn't want to be living there. That would be pretty scary. So I'm back here on this is Pacific Coast Highway, and we're going to be driving north on PCH. I have to go to Las Virgenes. I think Topanga Canyon's still closed. And you know what? Driving in from Las Virgenes, I was actually shocked at how well and how much they accomplished over the weekend. There's so many houses on the left-hand side that we're going to drive by pretty soon that they actually cleaned up a tremendous amount of debris. I was actually shocked. So over here to the left is that really nice steakhouse called Mastro's. I've been there before. It's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's pretty good. It's kind of dated on the inside. Personally, I'm more of a boa. I'm more of a boa kind of guy, to be honest. But, you know, Ruth's Chris is pretty good too, though. Can't go wrong with Ruth's Chris. But so far, I think the best steak that I've ever had was at Boa in Santa Monica. That was really good. Mastro's is cool, but maybe it was just that night. I don't know. But anyways, they're all wonderful steakhouses. If you can spend, you know, $500 for 2 people on one dinner, you know, it's pretty easy to do that there. Yeah, so Topanga Canyon is completely closed still. But you'll see coming up how much debris they actually started to remove. I was actually shocked at how much they accomplished in one weekend. So maybe there is a glimmer of hope, you know? Maybe the 2-year estimate that I was told, how long it would take, you know, to clean up all of this debris, 2 years, maybe I was wrong. Maybe that guy was wrong. I don't know. But then again, still pretty early. But all of these houses on the left-hand side, it looks like a lot of the debris was cleaned up. I mean, there's still, don't get me wrong, there's still a tremendous amount of, you know, work that needs to get done. But further ahead, there's a lot of debris that was actually removed. So good job to whoever was working on the weekend. Thousands of workers on the weekend. You know, that brings me to my next topic of discussion. The job site that I just came from, I was talking to the contractor for a little while about how long it was going to take to clean up all the, you know, palisades and whatnot. He said he's under the same impression as me. He said it's going to take a couple of years just to clean up all this stuff. And this is what he does for a living. You know, he specializes in cleaning up fire debris and you know, stuff like that. And, you know, obviously he's dealt with the Woolsey fire, and also the Ventura fire, I think it was the Thompson fire, I forget which one. And he was talking about how in those fires, some of the homeowners were under the impression that the Army was going to be picking up all of the debris free of charge. And then those homeowners, a couple of years later, get a letter in the mail from the Army saying that they owe them a check for debris removal. And that's because the Army somehow found out that those homeowners had insurance that would cover debris removal. And at first I was a bit skeptical of what he said, and I said, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. But when you think about it, it kind of does. Why should you and I, you know, John and Jane, taxpayer, why should we have to flip the bill to clean up the remains of your property when you have insurance? So that's just something to take into consideration. Now, obviously, that hasn't happened yet, you know, because that's going to take some time for that to happen. But that actually makes a lot of sense. It's not fair that our tax dollars have to go to pick up the remains of your property. That's not fair. You wouldn't Your tax dollars wouldn't pick up my house, that's for sure. I guarantee you that. So, if you do have insurance, I think it might be best to have the insurance companies deal with it. It might take longer initially. I'm sure it's going to take a lot longer actually, going through insurance and having them pay for everything. I can only imagine some of the problems that homeowners are going to start to encounter over the next 6 months regarding insurance. What's covered, what isn't covered. How much fraud is going to be taking place too. There's so much fraud that's going to happen right now. And the insurance companies know it. Massive amount of insurance fraud. It's the perfect time to do it because you have thousands and tens of thousands of claims. If you are a dirtbag and a scumbag trying to, defraud insurance companies, now's the time to do it. And they're doing it already. I guarantee that. So, and the other day I heard that Ricardo Laura, the insurance commissioner of California, actually approved the 22% rate increase for State Farm. So it looks like 1 million policyholders in California, looks like their premiums are going up. I don't know exactly if everyone's getting a 22% increase, or if it's 8% here, 30% there, I don't know. I guess that's to be determined. So here's what I was talking about earlier. I was actually blown away and shocked at how much of the debris they cleaned up on the left-hand side over the weekend. So whoever did all this work on the weekend, good job. You did something right. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of work to be done, and it's one thing to pick up trash, it's another thing to build a house. But somebody did their job right. And they picked up a tremendous amount of debris over the weekend. So good for you. So anyways, getting back to this State Farm 22%, increase, they got approved. Now, what does that mean for the rest of the insurance companies in California? You think that they're going to just sit on the sidelines and say, oh no, it's okay. We're not going to ask for a 22% rate increase either. It's all good. We love America and we're not going to rip people off. We're not going to raise rates by 22%. We're not going to ask Ricardo Laura if we can get the approval. And now that State Farm's been approved, every insurance company is going to ask or request approval for an emergency rate increase. And what is Ricardo Laura going to do? Is he going to reject their request? How could you? If you give one, the okay to raise rates, but not the other, why? How's that fair? Are you discriminating? So we'll see what happens over the next couple of years, but I can guarantee you that there's going to be more insurance companies requesting it. And if they get rejected for whatever reason, I'm sure that's going to lead to potentially lawsuits. They're going to have insurance companies suing the state for, you know, how's that fair? State Farm gets to raise rates by 22%, but I can't, but Mercury doesn't? Like, that doesn't make sense. So that'll be another whole slew of problems to come. another of the many. You know, and that it really makes you wonder, just because State Farm has been given the okay to raise insurance, you know, costs or prices, you know, by 22%, does that mean that they have to continue insuring some people, or can they still be selective with who they choose to insure and who not to insure? You know, do they have to sell insurance to everyone, or can they be more selective? So anyways, I guess we'll see what happens. It's going to take a long time before everything's all sorted and figured out. Alright, well, I just wanted to share with you guys some of my thoughts and opinions, and I just wanted to ramble for a little while and show you some of what it looks like up on top of Coastline Drive. And I'll be back there. I got a couple of big jobs up there, so I'll be back to, you know, shoot some more footage. Okay, so I just wanted to say thank you as well to all of the subscribers. I'm over 700 subscribers now, so thank you to everyone who's been checking out my channel and subscribing to me, and all of the wonderful comments that I get, and everything, all of the thumbs up and the likes and the subscribes and all that stuff. I really appreciate it. It's very nice. I never thought anyone would want to hear me ramble, and or maybe they don't. Maybe they just want to see the footage that I give. I don't know. Either way, I'm glad that I can provide you guys with some insight or perspective or whatever, you know, a look inside the aftermath, I suppose. So, because this is going to be a pretty big event for Los Angeles, and, you know, in general, it's probably going to go down as, you know, in history as the worst fire in, obviously, Los Angeles, but probably the country. So, all right, so until next time, guys, thank you again so much. I really appreciate it.